play d3. D3 maybe not so strong. But I decide to play bishop a4. So this move, you should not ask me too much. I don't know too deeply, you know, but I just know it's a move, not really known. You just want to anticipate, you know, the fact that he's going to push a6, and then you want to put the bishop maybe on c2 one day, you know, via c3 or c4. You can play c3 or c4, depending on what black does, you know. Okay, so he plays knight f6, and here, simply castle. First question, my friends, do you take the free pawn or not?
Yeah. Oh, against you, no.
Is this pawn free or is it very expensive?
It looks like a free pawn.
Yes. Looks. Okay. So let's take. Yes, exactly. Now I go rook e1. I attack the knight. So you go back. And now I play d4. Does it still look like free pawn or? The issue is you have the king, you know, in the middle, and I have this bishop, you know, on a4, pinning, the rook on e1 pinning. All my pieces are going to play very soon. Your king is still in the center, and you have one very big problem, okay? The king is not going to castle very soon, because you have to play first g6 or e6, then move the bishop, and then castle. But it's very long. You know, you need 3 moves, and 3 moves is a lot. You know, because first I want to take or maybe push d5. I don't know. So let's say you take, I take with the knight. Let's say you play move like g6. Already here I can play. Let's say bishop f4. Want to take on d6. You're pinned here, pinned everywhere. It's not good at all for black. So it's okay. I will not show all the lines, but basically, if you want to take a pawn like this in the center, you have to make sure that your king is at least a bit safe in the next move. You know, you cannot usually cannot take a pawn like this when your king is so weak. You know, you can take a pawn like this if the center is closed. You know, and you have time to castle and to enjoy. But here is a bit risky. Okay. So of course it's very known, you know, so he didn't even consider this move because he knows that it's bad. And also I knew what I was doing, so it's not really a pawn sacrifice, you know. So he plays e6, very normal. Yeah. So now maybe he wants to take the pawn. So I defend with the pawn on d3. Already here you have a lot of options. You can play rook e1, queen e2 again. But my plan this game was to play very solid. Yeah. So I don't want to, you know, I want to stay very compact and solid in the center. Bishop e7, he wants to castle. I go c4. Very logical. I take some space. Castle, knight c3. So of course you can play knight c3 immediately, but usually if you can, you know, grab some more space with c4, usually it's good, especially because, you know, I'm making a weak square on d4. Yeah. Maybe, you know, because I push this pawn a bit too far and this pawn a bit too far. So this square on d4 gets a bit weak. But both of his knights are very far from d4. So I can, you know, I have some time to see. Usually you want to play a move like knight c3 and follow with d4. So you don't have this square so weak anymore. Okay, castle, knight c3, a6, why not? He just wants to play a6, b6, bishop b7 and d5 at some point. That's the black's plan, let's say. I play queen e2. Why not? He plays b6. Here you have a lot of plans. You have these plans. I made some, arrows before. You have another plan that I played in a game this year, also in classical game. I played knight e1 with the idea of playing f4, g4, g5, and big attack. Which is a bit weird. Usually you don't want to attack with the pawns, which are in front of your king. But here it's a bit different because the center is not opened. So you can sometimes get a bit creative like this.
And pray.
And pray, yeah. You push pawns and pray. But here, I told you this game, I wanted to be very solid. So if you want to be solid, you should not push your pawns in front of the king. It's not logical. So I didn't do the same. Okay. So I play d4. Now I push in the center. Okay, he takes. I take. Plays bishop b7 now. Okay, here you have few options. But what would you play as white? Bishop c6? Fou c6? C'est très bizarre. Mais c'est très très bon. Bishop c6 is exactly what I played. Yes. So why bishop c6? Sorry?
The bishop is bad.
Yes? Bishop is not so good.
This is,
Sorry?
this is bad.
Easy plan?
His is better.
Yes. The bishop here is not bad because he wants at some point to push d5, maybe, or b5. And this bishop is good. He attacks in the center, and that bishop is a bit passive. Even if you put it on c2, it's a bit passive. Usually in position like this, where white has more space, you don't want to trade, pieces so much because you have more space, and you can, rotate your pieces, however you like. But in this position, it's a bit, unusual. You want to trade the bishops, so that bishop is not active anymore. So now he didn't take, because if you take, then knight takes, and okay, you don't really want to be attacked like this. So he instead moves the queen. So now I trade. So now usually black wants to push b5 or d5 still. But for now, you cannot push b5 because I'm going to take the pawn, free pawn. Look how many times I'm protecting the square b5. 1, 2, 3, 4. You cannot push b5 for now. But maybe you want to push d5 still because black has no space. So usually when you have no space, you want to fight for some space. And you want to do it via d5 normally, or b5. Okay. b3. For now, d5 you cannot, because I am going to take, and the bishop on e7 is pinned. Okay. Rook c8. So now, what is the threat for black? Very typical of this kind of structure. b5, yes. b5, yes, because the knight on c3 is hanging. If I make big mistake like f3, b5, black is going to be better because I cannot take because the knight is hanging. And if black is going to take, then even if we can take back, the pawn on c4 is going to be very weak. And I want to be very solid. So I play bishop b2. Now b5 is not possible because I will just take the free pawn. d5 also is not possible because the bishop is hanging on e7 still. So what would you play with black? Rook f8. Logical. Okay. So now d5 may be an idea. Okay. So I play rook a d1. And here, big question for you. Do you play d5? Or do you play something else? ¿Tienes agua? Por favor. Un poco. Thank you. Seems possible, yes. Sorry?
The pawn, if you win a pawn with white, is very weak.
Yes. So, in position like this, if you can make move like d5 work, you're going to be completely fine. Because then, let's say here, we get to trade all the 4 pawns. Then the position will be more or less equal because white doesn't have space anymore, the space advantage anymore. The structure will be completely symmetrical, so position will be more or less equal. So if you can make a move like d5 work, you must play it. If not, what do you do? What's the plan with black? Wait, yes, exactly, yes. So the best you have to do if d5 doesn't work is just waiting and do nothing. And wait for white to do something, you know? So the white position will get a bit weaker. Let's say here, black does literally nothing, okay? Like bishop f8. Okay? What white must do here? What's the plan as white?
King h1.
Okay, let's say king h1. Let's say I go back. I will not do anything. Thank you.
f4.
Okay, f4. Okay. Okay, wait. You want to? Okay, let's say I go here maybe. Rook f1. Okay. d5, b5. I don't know. I wait.
G4.
Okay. And here is exactly what I want. I want you to overpush, and then I can start to, my counterattack. Maybe d5 here. Just open the position. I don't know. I didn't calculate. Or maybe even, I don't know, some move like b5, sacrifice the pawn here. Basically here, as black, what you want to do, just wait until white gets a bit crazy and push too hard. And then you counterattack. And as white, you want to wait until black gets crazy and gets bored of doing nothing, and then you win. So it's very weird position. And this position is more or less equal because of it. So it's very, very interesting. And that's exactly the position I wanted in the opening, because my opponent, I told you, is very aggressive and wants dynamics all the time. So this kind of player, he cannot wait. He will go crazy. So here I played rook d1. So of course my opponent is very aggressive, but he's also not, going to play a losing move. If he sees that the move is losing. So here he started to think like 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes, maybe even more. I don't know. And of course, if he's going to think that much or that long, he must be calculating something concrete, yes? He's not going to spend like half an hour to play bishop f8 or bishop d8. So he plays d5. And here, tactics and a bit of a lot of calculation starts, So what do you think about this move?
You take d5, knight f5.
Okay, you have a lot of options. So let's think slowly.
I like e5.
e5.
I think e5 is the first move you need to calculate because it's very forcing. So e5, you attack the knight. So knight doesn't have any square. You have to go to e4. Okay. And now. Knight takes, okay. I take back. Do you think this position is clear? Or? You know, there is one thing I really don't like about this movie 5, that you're killing this bishop. Knight was very good on the big diagonal, you know, the long diagonal, I must say, no? And by playing e5, bishop is not really playing anymore. Knight e4, it looks okay for white because, you know, you have some space still and the pawn looks a bit weak, but the knight is coming to c5 to protect e4, maybe even to d3, which is a very good square. Queen is okay on b7. e5 is also a weakness. Like if you play rook e1, I can even take on e5. This pawn is attacked, you know. So it's not clear. Black is even better here, which is maybe a bit weird, but yes. Let's say you play f4. I can bring my knight to c5, maybe d3. This diagonal is also weak now on the king. Okay, interesting. But e5 is not the best. Okay, now we're going to enter the dark zone. Because, you know, remember the topic of the day, you know, the pins and the non-protected piece. So Queen f3 is completely in the topic today because we are pinning the queen or the pawn. You pin the pawn to the queen. Okay, so it's an interesting idea. So Queen f3 is the move I played in the game, but it's not the best. Yes. We will see after all the lines, but you can maybe try to find the best line for white. Yeah. So you said knight f5. So knight f5. So you're just attacking some pieces here, but I don't know. I feel like I can maybe counter attack with bishop f4 or simply bishop f8. You know, bishop f8, I make my king very safe with the bishop on f8, counter attack on the queen. My black rooks are very well placed on c8 and e8. You know, I want to take. And now if you play queen f3, knight e5, big difference. Because we are going to see why in the game. But now the rook is protecting the knight. That's the main difference. But we will see why. Okay. So knight f5 a bit impulsive, you say. Knight d5, okay. So I take the knight.
And then the pin is,
And now you pin.
now you pin.
Now, okay, very good, very good. Now you pin. So it's more or less the same, but now I took a pawn,
Yeah.
you know, in the process.
Yeah.
So I want to take like this, or even stronger, I can play knight f5, because as long as the pin is here, you don't have to take, you know, on the next move. You can wait. You know, you don't have to rush. So here, queen f3, what would you play with black? Because of course I saw this line during the game, but I was not happy after one move for black.
Knight 7, f6.
So knight 7 f6,
Yeah, that's
yes.
Yeah.
But what would you play now
And now I guess it will,
as white? Knight f5, yes. And now you're pinned from all sides of the board. It's very bad. Because you're pinned here, the knight is attacking everywhere. So that's not good. Knight f6. This is almost winning maybe winning for white.
Yeah.
So knight f6 was not my problem. Remember, topic of the day, very important.
Yeah.
Bishop f6. You pin the not protected piece on b2. What is the idea of bishop f6? Okay, so now I cannot move the knight because the bishop is hanging. Okay. So I have to take probably the knight on d5 now.
Yeah.
It's hard to improve on the position. If I take on d5, then takes, and how do you win back the pawn? Rook c5, exactly, yes. And we understand why we put the bishop on f6. The knight cannot move, so it's just impossible to defend d5. So now black gets exactly what they wanted. Yeah, when they play d5, they will, equalize the position in the center, so the structure will remain very symmetrical. Now it's completely equal. So I cannot play like this. If I take with the pawn, it's the same. Rook c5. Let's say. Okay. So here is the move I missed during the game. You have only one strong move as white to fix all the problems. Rook d2, interesting.
Rook d2.
Qu'avez-vous dit?
Non, mais c'est relatif. On peut jouer
Cavalier
cavalier.
f5. Okay, let's look at knight f5 but I take, and here there is a big trick. Knight e5. Yes.
So that's not good.
Because it could have been good for white, because you attack few pieces here.
But if you do knight c6,
Sorry?
and it goes to c6, are you giving something?
When? What?
Before,
Here?
No, before.
Yes?
Because knight c6 and the bishop is
No, but knight c6 I simply take here, I think.
pawn takes.
Black is piece up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
So you cannot no, you completely pinned.
yeah.
So knight f5 doesn't work. Okay, let's look at rook d2. But rook d2 you have few moves. But first this one is interesting. This move, bishop move, or even I think I think rook c5 again. Some move like rook c5 again. Because knight e5 is also coming to unpin myself. No, rook d2 is not the move. Rook f1. Prevent rook c5 in the end, yes. But here I take. You take? No, probably, yes. Knight e5. Queen e4. Maybe rook d8 simply. Let's see. Can I be more? Rook f1. that was not planned at all. Total surprise. 95, but then takes, no? Take, this, but takes, this. Not so clear. Still pawn up. Wait, rook f1. Okay, probably it's not the end of the world, no? Okay, I can still take. I mean, queen e4, I play rook d8. F4, but F4 I can play this, no?
Check. That's not good.
My knight saves the day.
And you have to bishop.
C take d5, I take with queen, no? Because you're pinned again, no? Okay. Yes, but it's check. I check. And then I cover like this. Almost. Okay, I don't know, but rook f1 looks a bit suspicious, no? Okay, there is one move that's very clear. So bishop a1 is the move I saw during the game, but it's not the good move. Because whatever you will do on the next move, I will take, and then your rook will have to go on a1, and it will be very passive, and during that time I will have enough time to make some active moves. Maybe even rook c5 here.
And bishop h3.
Bishop a3, yes. Bishop a3 is the best move. Because you stop rook c5. You completely kill rook c5. Next move you want knight f5 if you can. There is no pin anymore, so the bishop has zero problem. Just pawn up for white. But bishop a3 is very hard to find during a game. I think it's very logical. When you think about the position, it's very logical because you're pinned, and black always wants to play rook c5. So in one move you unpin and you stop rook c5. It's the most logical move in the position. But I don't know, I didn't even think about this move. I thought about bishop a1, but I completely missed bishop a3. So knight d5 was a big opportunity here. So I didn't play it. So I play queen f3, which is very logical as well and still in the topic. So it's good. Okay, so here what do you do as black? I want to take the pawn, the free pawn on d5.
Knight a5 is the fastest one could think about.
Hmm?
Knight a5 would be the fastest one.
Yes, of course, knight e5. Because it's hard to protect the pawn. If you go rook c5 now, the rook is not stable here. I can play, again, maybe bishop a3, or simply maybe knight f5 even. Many options. So rook c5 is too weak, so you can play knight e5. And now my queen doesn't have enough squares on this diagonal to keep the pin alive. But there is one move, of course. Hmm?
But the knight is not there.
Queen g3. The problem with the queen g3, I see the point, You want to attack the knight first, and also to keep an eye on g7, maybe to attack. But the problem is, after knight g6, it's hard to keep the attack going. Because the knights are doing a very good job to protect the king. The king is very well protected. You have 3 pawns, two knights, one bishop, one rook. You know, few pieces. So I can see you have also quite few attackers, like the knight, potentially queen, bishop on the big diagonal. But it's probably not enough. Queen g3 is also interesting, but you have one move that's more tricky. Queen f5. Yes? Queen f5, yes. Queen f5. So what's the idea again?
Fix the knight and have a look on the step.
Yes. Attack the knight. And also you stay in the topic. You pin. Yes. So you are pinning like this, but now you pin like this on the side. It's a constant pin in this game. All about the pawn on d5. It's all the fighting during the game is about the pawn on d5. Like if I miss one chance, then he can trade the pawns, and I don't have any advantage anymore. And if he misses some small tactic, then he will lose the pawn and lose the game. So it's all about tempo, you know. So queen f5. Okay. So now what do you play as black? How do you keep everything protected? Bishop to d6, okay.
Can you just copy on c4 and not bishop at 8?
Okay, that's interesting what you're saying. You want to take, we will look at bishop moves after, but pawn takes was also what I was thinking during the game. It's very concrete, because if you can make this move work, you should play it, because then you have no more problem anymore. So takes?
Bishop a3.
Okay. Interesting.
But maybe you can capture the rook.
Yes, that's one option. And there is also one more, I think. Which is maybe even simplest, you know. So first, queen takes, I think is very good for white. Because let's say you take with the knight, I take, you take. So now I cannot take back, but I can play maybe rook e1, and I have a lot of pieces, and my pieces are well placed, you know. Also knight f5 can come, knight e7, this knight can drop to d5. My pieces are very, very active here. So white is much better. But you can also here play better move, maybe more easier move, let's say. Okay, maybe it's not easier at all. Queen g5, yes, queen g5 is very interesting. Let's say now you take, you have to take back the piece, of course. You take back the piece, and now knight f5, counter attack on the king. Yeah. But I thought maybe knight h5, but then knight d6 should be like, again, we are attacking a few pieces on the board. Yeah, it looks very good for white. Okay, looks very good for white. So, you know, this pawn takes d4, you have to calculate, you know, as white and also as black, but it doesn't seem to be working. Okay, so we eliminate this pawn takes c4. So now you cannot move the knight, because if you move the knight, we already said that you lose the pawn on d5 for free. So you cannot move the knight. But you still have to protect the knight. So you have to move the bishop. But where? Bishop b4, okay. So bishop b4, bishop b4, yes, another pin, is the best move. So bravo. Bishop d6. I forgot to take off the arrow, but you have one more very strong pin. you play knight c2. And look at this pin now. You know, we are talking about the pieces that are not protected. Bishop, queen was not protected, so we took advantage of it with the queen on f3. But now the bishop on d6 is not protected, so we can drop back the knight. Then we can play knight e3 or simply take on d5. This pawn on d5 is just lost. And if we lose the pawn for free as black, then we lose the game. So bishop d6 is not the good square. So bishop b4 is the good square. But of course my opponent, he saw this bishop b4. That's the first move he wanted to play for sure. But he didn't play it. So there is a reason why he didn't play it. So why do you think he didn't play it? It's the best move. But it's not so easy to find why. And remember, pins... Knight f3. So knight f3... knight f3 here is not winning. Because I can probably simply take, and now knight e4. I unpin myself, and this pawn on d5 is not free at all, because let's say if you take, remember the topic of the day? Easy for you now? Yes. And we put the final pin. So now it's GG. So it's funny because knight f3 is exactly the move I played in the game. My opponent played bishop c5, and that's a blunder because of knight f3 now. And now you don't have bishop takes the knight on c3, so now you're completely pinned. But okay, we will come back to it after. So why bishop b4 is so good? It's the best move, yes. So that's the best move, but there is a, you know, we can find some tricks as well. Okay, knight takes d5, knight takes d5. Takes? Okay, take. So okay, let's think about knight c2. I will not move the piece. Because knight c2 is looks very strong because we are attacking three pieces at once. Bishop on b4, knight on e5, queen on d5. Yes, exactly, yes. Yes, we attack all the pieces, but knight f3. Counter check, and we use the technique of the counter pin. Queen takes, now we takes, and black is much better in this endgame. Rook is active, pawn structure is bad for white. So disaster. So knight c2 is wrong, is not good. Knight f3 is exactly the same, yes. But it's even easier for black to find, because now you just take with check. Okay, yes, exactly. Same for knight e2. If you go knight e2, I can also check. So I will have rook on e2 instead of c2, but it's the same. Sorry? Yes, exactly. So f4. And now again, we use the pin. The knight cannot move. g6, okay? So what do you play here? Yes, but queen f6, black is just in time to play knight g4. It looks terrifying for black, because look at this. You know, usually when you see a battery like this, it's mate on the king. But now black is just in time to play knight g4, attacking the queen. Let's say you go back, and I don't know, maybe knight e3. Now look, black is first on the counter attack. Yes.
Okay, can you just start by queen g5?
Yes, exactly. Queen g5.
He,
Keep the pin, you know? You know, the topic of the day. We have to keep the pin. But now what? H6, yes. H6. Unpin. I mean, you have to unpin. If you don't unpin, you'll just lose the knight for free. So I take the free pawn. But now again, knight g4. Just in time. Queen h4. And some move, maybe knight e3. Okay, the knight e3, I'm not sure. No, maybe knight e3. Knight f3, queen h5. Yes. Queen f6. Bishop f8. Easy. You defend everything. Okay, I don't know. Maybe it's wrong.
d7.
Rook d7.
Queen h7.
Yes, but rook f7 here. Wait, maybe I'm completely lost. Or g5, very chill. Okay, maybe I'm completely lost here. But you see, no, but it's possible. But you see why he didn't play bishop before now? Because you have to see everything in advance, you know, and that's why he didn't play it. Because maybe here I know that there is a way for black to equalize, but it's impossible to find even for someone who is 2650 to calculate everything from here. You have to see bishop before, and you have to calculate this. Takes. So first you have to see all this knight move, knight c2. Okay, it's not so hard for someone 2650. But then you find there is f4. Then you think you lose, then you see g6, queen g5. Then you look at h6, you know, takes, knight g4. But from afar, it's very scary to calculate all this stuff.
But how you should actually...
Maybe queen h5 here, I don't know. But... still down a pawn. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't remember. I know I checked. I don't remember. Hmm?
There is knight f5, so maybe you have to
Here?
queen. Just if you play knight e3 instead of this.
Here?
Yes.
Yes, but here knight f3.
F5, sorry. F5.
When?
Knight e3, knight f5.
Ah, yes, but no, but mate. Mate. Yes. No, that's the biggest threat. I mean, I'm also attacking the rooks, but I want to mate, if possible. That's why knight f3, to stop the mate. Okay, I will do something very quickly. Yes, completely. Huh? Queen h5. Yeah, knight g4, queen h5 here. Yes. Queen h5 here. But okay, I mean, you have to, and still a bit better for. So imagine you have to calculate everything, you know, and judge the position correctly after queen h5 that you're down a pawn, but you have to calculate also if you're not getting mated. It's nightmare as black. As white, you're just enjoying. You just play a move and you let your opponent think about all the possibilities. Yes? For me, it's easy. I just pin and I look at him. But he has to calculate everything. So in the end, now we understand why he played bishop c5. Because if bishop c5, you know, the mind process for him. He maybe thought about pawn takes c4. Then he realized, okay, it doesn't work. Then he wants to play bishop b4. But he looks at all the pins and he says, okay, no more pins. Now he wants to pin me. Because if bishop c5, let's say I do the same. After f4, now I'm the one pinned. Because the bishop on c5 is strong now. So now maybe knight f3. But no, knight f3 is a big mistake. Because I don't take. Because I lose the queen, but I go king h1. Okay. And now, okay, you are attacked from all sides. So it's not good. But here you can do the same. g6. But the bishop is not on b4, it's on c5. And it's much better placed on c5 because it's pinning and it's active. On b4 it was completely useless. Queen g5, h6, takes here. And now if we do the same, rook e2 even. Attacking here, just dead lost. Here even, knight e3. Attacking on g2, and now I cannot move the knight because it will be check. Yes, it's a big difference. And that's exactly what he saw. I didn't talk about this after the game with my opponent, but for sure, I mean, it's what happened in his mind. Yeah. So he played bishop c5, and now we already discussed the move I played, which he completely missed because of all the calculation he had to do. He missed the simple move knight f3. And now black is just not dead lost, but finally I'm winning the pawn. Why? Because I'm attacking the pawn, the knight on e5, attack on d5, so it's a double attack. If he takes, then I take, and now I'm pinning again, pinning for the win. Because he cannot stop the pin now. He cannot unpin with knight e5 because the knight is not on the board anymore. Simple. Now I'm going to take. Free pawn. So he didn't take on f3. Here I thought he had maybe one chance to try to hold the game. I don't know if you can try to find it. It's actually not the best move, but it's a bit instructive. d4 is the move he played to try to create some play, but it's not really good, not really working. Knight g4, which one? This one?
Yeah.
Okay. So you want maybe some...
Can you just capture on d4?
I think I capture on d5, yes. Because if you take here, I can even take this one. And now I'm mating here. No, not knight g4. Here you have a way to give up a pawn, but get something back in exchange for it, you know? Yes. Queen d7, yes? You said?
Queen d7.
Yes. Queen d7, yes. Because now, okay, I mean, I probably have to take the queen. Because if I do, let's say, queen f4, he has many ways. He can take and maybe push d4, or he can do some stuff, maybe knight g6 and d4, so he can survive. So let's say I take, but now there is knight f3 check, intermezzo, take and take. So you lose a pawn, but at least my structure on the near my king is a bit weak. So you lose a pawn, but you win back something in exchange for it. But in reality, I can take, let's say, rook e2 and move like bishop d4. And in fact, first I was thinking maybe you can survive as black, but my pieces are way too active. So my pawns are weak here, but there is no queen on the board, so I can have a weaker king, it's okay. But my knight on d5 is so strong, and my rooks are coming in the middle. You know, it's very hard to play as black. So okay, it's possibility to play queen d7, but it's not going to save the game. But I just wanted to show it as you know, sometimes this kind of stuff can work, you know, for you. I mean, if you're going to lose a pawn or material, at least try to get something in return. Yeah. Okay, so he played d4, but I just took the pawn, and now we understand the last 5-6 moves. We are fighting always for the d pawn, and in the end I won the pawn for free, and then he just collapsed very quickly. He played rook d8, I played knight a4, which is not the only move, but I just want to kick the bishop away, because it's a bit active, you know, in front of the king. You don't really like it normally. If you can kick it away, it's better. And here he blundered the game in one move. He played bishop b4. And can you finish the game in style? Yes, knight c2. Not so much style, but still. Yes, because the topic of the day. Pieces non-protected, not protected. Knight c2, attacking bishop on b4. Attacking here. He cannot save all the pieces at once. Yes, okay, but this piece is kind of protected. But everything is just over. I don't know how you say it in English, but over.
It's just bad.
Just bad, yes. Yes,
The game is over.
yes, he thought for a while, but it's just over. Let's play bishop d6 for fun. How do you finish in style? Rook d6 is style, but no, you can be more. You can have more style.
You can capture on d4.
On e5, you mean?
If I can.
Yes, yes. And let's say I take here. No, I take here.
You can capture screen.
Yes, this is very good style. You finish with without queen, but with many rooks and you mate.
Very good.
Yeah, you can also take on d6. You have too many options. So yeah, this is just over. There is only one chance to not lose a piece, which is knight c6. Yes, now I can just take here, take, and you can see that I'm already 2 pawns up. But most importantly, the king is very weak.
Maybe you can start to capture with the bishop and then to take on it.
Maybe, but I also want maybe to bring the knight on the king. But of course, you can also take, and take here. Oof. You can also take here, and it's just resigns. But okay, here you just enjoy the position. So he thought for a while and resigned. But okay, I think it's instructive on how to find the patterns of the pieces that are not protected, play around it, and put a lot of pressure. And you can see that even against someone who is 2650 FIDE, if you put a lot of pressure like this on your opponent, he will collapse. Because starting from move here, from move 1, from d5, it was always like pressure for him. Like already here it's pressure. Then d5, then takes, queen f3. It's a lot of calculation. Here. Now he has to calculate all the bishop moves. It's.
But if he didn't play d5, because that was the central move,
Yes.
you said.
So.
If he just waited,
Yes.
what was then the?
Now a very good question. I forgot to say.
Yeah.
So if he played like bishop f8,
Yeah.
I would probably play a move like queen. I don't know. I want to stop. Maybe f3. F3 because now if he plays d5, I can probably play e5, and the knight cannot come to e4 anymore. So I was maybe going to play f3, and my plan was easy. I was going to wait until he becomes a bit crazy and try something wrong. If he was not going to do anything crazy, I would wait until I see that he's not going to,
Then you have.
and then I would offer draw and make a draw. Yes. No, that was my plan. But I played against my opponent's weakness. So that was a big part of the game also, and it really worked.
Very instructive.
Yes. Then so this kind of preparation in the opening is really hard to do because you have to know your opponent very well, and then adapt. The opening. But okay, if you can adapt your strategy, it's good. And also then all the pins and the small tactics everywhere. I think it was a funny game, so wanted to share. Okay, if you have any question. Any kind of question? If not, thank you. It was okay, no? Not too hard, not too easy?
No, it's okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Good luck. Ah oui? Ah oui, oui. Bah c'était un peu ça en plus. Ouais.
Bonne chance.
Merci.
Jules, what if black just doesn't play d5 and just try to
Yeah, I just don't do anything and I offer
do it
draw
as well?
something. Yes, yes. That was the plan.
How does it go from here? So like, what is black doing?
Sorry?
What is black doing from here? Plan on just waiting.
Just waiting, yes.
You play like G6, bishop G7.
Not even G6 now, because G6 is weakening.
D6. Yeah.
You just move, your piece is knight e5, bishop e7, rook d8, rook c8, queen c8. Just move, wait.
But it's very difficult to be done.
Yes, yes, yes.
What are you gonna? Are you just gonna play like rook D2, rook?
Yeah, like pretend I have some plan and
Bishop A3.
yes, yes.
So you can move your king.
Yeah, move the king, move the queen, try to move the rooks to d2, d1, pretend I want to attack d6, then move it to c.
Then move C1.
And then when I see that he's not going to crack, offer draw and go back home to the hotel.
I see.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. No, okay.
Thank you for the lecture.
Thank you. Thank you. Good luck.
You too.